Hello guys, my name is Kelsey. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about a lot of things, mostly knitting, crochet, and other craft related topics. Today I am very sweaty, please forgive my very bedraggled appearance. I just got home from a long day of shopping. I have shopped till I dropped. I guess if dropped means like dropped a video. I am exhausted, so this might make no sense. Today I went with my friend Heidi to Great Basin Fiber Arts Festival, as well as a couple local yarn stores in the area, because local yarn store day and Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair have fallen on the same weekend this year. They did last year too. I'm hoping that they do it a different weekend sometime in the future, because quite frankly, having both in the same weekend is not great for my wallet. But I did quite a bit of shopping today. And I figured I don't want to like have this laying around. I want to put it all away. So I figured I might as well change my shirt real quick, take off this sort of grody one that I had on, and show you some of the stuff real quick before I take a shower and pass out. So without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, first things first though, I wanted to show some recent acquisitions actually that have nothing to do with this, but I was really excited for them to come in. I placed an order earlier this year from Ruby and Roses for their Downton Abbey collection. I've never seen Downton Abbey, as you probably guessed from me mispronouncing it in about 4 different ways just then. But I've always really wanted to try Ruby and Rose's yarn, and just the purples that they had in this collection were spectacular. This is like a pinkish reddish purple. There was one that was like a blue purple. I didn't end up buying that one, but it was a close race between this purple and that purple. But I specifically got 6 of these in their Rose DK because I am planning on making, I think it's the Cumulus vest. It's the one where it's like a sideways button, but I will put it on the screen. But I thought that vest would be so pretty in this deep purple with like gold buttons. And this yarn, I'm definitely going to be ordering more from her in the future, because this is just the squishiest yarn. It's so satisfying to just touch, and like the dye on it is like perfect. And I think the pictures she posts on her Instagram and on her website are like the most true to order hand-dyed yarn I've ever experienced, particularly because these are just like tonals, so it's a little bit easier to get an accurate photo of these. But specifically this yarn that I also got as part of the Downton Abbey, I almost called it Downtown Abbey again, but specifically this sock set, I've never seen like a skein of yarn like this, like with this sort of like colors and like the way it is, like it's just incredibly unique, and the swatch looked really cool. So I ended up getting a sock set of this, and God, I want to make it so bad, but I don't have time for, like, it's obviously going to be like a very plain vanilla sock, and I just don't know. There's so many socks I want to make. It's not even funny. We're going to see how many socks and sock sets and things I want to do right now, because it's kind of extreme. I think next year I have to finish all my whips before Great Basin Fiber Arts Festival, so I can cast on every single thing that catches my fancy while I'm there, because I am buzzing out of my skin with the desire to just like cast on every single thing I possibly could. Let me just dump out this tote I brought with me to Great Basin Fiber Arts Festival. It's from the Mysterious Bookstore in New York City. It's a mystery themed bookstore. And let's talk about what I got. Good God, golly. Let's go with stitch markers. So I walked into Great Basin Fiber Arts Festival fully knowing I was going to buy stitch markers from Hap B Creative Studios. I have talked about this stitch marker company about 1,000 times, but she does like acrylic stitch markers. So I bought 3 sets because I have terrible self-control and I love a stitch marker. So I got this one, which are just like plain pink ones. I liked that they were all the lobster clasp one because I like the round clasp for knitting, but I also like the ability to open and close it and like place it where it needs to be placed. Then she had specific ones with like the Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair logo on it, and obviously it's an event specific it's an event specific item, so I just needed to do that. And then I was with my friend Heidi, and we're both big Swifties, so she had her tortured knitters theme, like tortured poems themed stitch markers, so we both bought them because we love spending money. Basically, at the actual Fiber Arts Fair, we went through like a lot of the stalls, like we just kind of looked around, and then once we circled back, we would buy like whatever we were still thinking about. The hope was that would sort of curb impulse purchasing. I don't think that particularly helped me because I have a really good memory and I remembered every single thing that had ever caught my eye. Not even from this year at the Fiber Arts Festival. Some of these things caught my eye last year at the Fiber Arts Festival, but here we are talking about them now. Let's start with PK Yarn. So PK Yarn is a dyer that does a lot of really bright neons, and they do a lot of sock yarn specifically, so they have like a set of a lot of minis and things like that. So I went there. I was intending to buy things at PK Yarn. So I was specifically looking for colors to use in the Colorwork Cuff Club socks, and I successfully found two that I would love to make into those socks. The first one, I've kind of changed my mind a little bit. So I bought these three to go together. This green color, that doesn't have an actual name, but the number is 060724. It's just like a matcha green color. And then I got this very pale yellow color, and that is in the colorway Hansa. And then I got this cornflower blue color, and I think it's called Brilliant. And I was gonna hold them all, like I was gonna make the like flower Colorwork Cuff Club socks out of these, but I'm not really in love with this green. So I actually sort of changed my mind at the end of the day. We're kind of jumping ahead, but one of the local yarn stores, I just bought a skein. They wound it up. They didn't ask me if I wanted it wound up, they just did it, which is fine. But I guess I'm going to cast these on sooner than I was planning on it because I now have a very tightly packed ball of white yarn. But this is just like a Barocco. Like, I don't even remember which one it is. It's literally just like whatever, like I found it. It is Malabrigo. It's Malabrigo sock, and it's just a white sock yarn. I'm gonna hold it with these two to make those little flower socks. I think it'll be cute. And yeah, and then this I will make. There is a Summerlee sock pattern I have that is basically just like a very like plain textured pattern where you basically purl like in a pattern, and it is really cute, and I've wanted to make it on sort of a plainer sock, so I am going to still use this for that, but I think they'll look better separate than they would together. I also, at PK Yarn, I got another sock set. This one is these two, and I love these. These are kind of like very much captivating my attention. I want to make another one of the Colorwork Cuff Club. I cannot say that. Cuff Club socks. The one where it's like the drips. Obviously there's like a screenshot up for you. So you know what I'm talking about, but I think this as like the drips and then just like the bright yellow, it's gonna be so much fun. So this is the color Daffodil, and then the mini that's held with it is the colorway Captain Fantastic. Then we went to Sinful Yarns. This was kind of on my shopping list going in because I had seen it there last year. I didn't buy it because it wasn't really, I wasn't knitting at that time. I was just crocheting, so was not a lot I was going to do with a bunch of fingering weight yarn. But I went back there today with this kind of in the back of my mind. And that is the All Too Well colorway from Sinful Yarns, obviously based on Taylor Swift. It's this really fun, like, it's very flannel is kind of how it feels. It's very like a dark, moody fall type. And I think I want to do like a cabled sock in this colorway sometime this fall. Obviously, maybe not this fall, sometime in the fall. I want to do a cabled sock for these because I just think it'll make a really good one. Fucking Heidi kind of influenced me a little bit. So first I got at Sego Fibers, I just got their red sock yarn. I really liked this red, and it's very what's it called, bouncy yarn. I'm going to make just a plain sock, like a very basic sock out of this yarn, but I also believe I will have enough extra. I want to use some of it in yet another Colorwork Cuff Club sock. I have like a Tweety pink yarn that I want to make. I believe it's the August one. It's the one with like the little plants on it. So I have a pink tweed, and I think this red will go with it to make basically the same sock that she made as a sample, because I just really love that sample. It speaks to me on a deep level. So Heidi, they had this really nice boucle at the Sego Fibers, and they didn't really have enough for like any sort of garment, but it was really pretty. It was really nice. And Heidi was like going back and forth trying to figure out something she could make with it. Like she was trying to think of like stripes and things like that, like how to make it work. And she was like, I can do dye to order. And I was like, well, why don't you just do that? Because you're not going to want to wear a boucle sweater in July. And she was kind of going back and forth. And then eventually she was like, you know what, I'm going to dye to order. And at that point I was like, you know what, why don't I dye to order too? And we can make matching sweaters. So we ordered boucle, and the color, it's a brown boucle color. So I'm making a brown sweater. It's crazy. Life is crazy how that turns out. I got a sticker. I'm trying to sort out what I bought from a yarn store and what I bought there. I got another sticker. I got a little pin with the Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair logo. And then did I get, I should somewhere over here have a set of earrings that I got, and it's probably hidden under a bunch of other shit, but I do have a pair of earrings in here somewhere. Well, I found a cookie, but not the earrings. I forgot I bought that cookie. That's exciting for later. Oh, here they are. So one of the local yarn stores did like a little setup at the fair, and at that setup they were selling these little like Hank earrings, and I thought they were just so cute, and they were not that expensive, so I bought a pair. And then once we were done at Great Basin, we went ahead and went to the closest local yarn store. Heidi hadn't been before. I've been quite a few times. It's a very beautiful yarn store called Seed Stitch. It's in downtown Bountiful. I did not buy any yarn there, but I did go there with the intent of picking up more of these flower stitch markers from All Stitch Studio. I don't have any of these like bigger green ones, but I have been, like, since I've actually been knitting sweaters, a stitch marker of this size that doesn't have like a dangly bit is a little bit more useful to me right now than it was previously. And then I do have some of these pink ones, but I've lost quite a few of them, so I decided to grab another set because I really like these. So once we got done at Seed Stitch, we ate lunch and went to our local yarn store, like the one we go to for knit night every week. And for backstory, I had already bought a sweater quantity of yarn earlier this week because I have been pining over this yarn for about like a month now, and I was like, I'll wait until after Great Basin Fiber Arts Festival, and if I don't see anything I want more than that there, I'll just buy it. Like, and that didn't end up working out because I got to this weekend, I was like, there's not gonna be anything I want more than that. I've literally been thinking about this yarn for a month, so I bought it, and then I bought a bunch of other stuff too, so I'm not gonna, yeah. But it is the, again, we are in French zone, and I am not a French speaker. I am barely an English speaker, based on how many words I have slurred today. But it is Basis and Bouche Les Lambs wool in the color Candy, and it is this really cool gray with like a lot of like undertone, like very light pinks and greens and blues and yellows and purples kind of mixed in. And I bought this to make a stick season sweater out of because I thought it would be really fun to do just like a basic like fun sweater and like have it as like a neutral but still with like a little bit of personality in there because it does have those colors sort of mixed in. And I'm really happy with this purchase, actually. Like, I'm really excited about it. However, while I was at Handwork, I decided, actually, I wanted to try a new type of yarn. So while I was there, I got the Ritual Dyes Undine yarn, because I've been wanting to try it. I got it in 2 colors. I got 2 skeins of each color. This is in the colorway Siren, and what are you? This is New Growth, and I'm planning on making the bow tie tank top with this, so I have to get moving on a lot of other tank tops because I had her wind these for some reason because I was like, I need motivation to use them as soon as possible. I have like 1,000 other plans, but you know what? Whatever. But yeah, I think these will be a really pretty tank top. I also got these Addy flips in a size 1 for some socks. I've been wanting to try them, and I am almost done with my current pair of socks, so I went ahead and bought these because the sock I'm planning on working on next is a toe-up sock that is worked on magic loop, and the instructions are very specific to magic loop, and I could work them on a circular, but I figured it might be fun to try these. I have no interest in trying a magic loop, so that's not an option. So we're trying these. And I also got these like red flower stitch markers. Then I went to Knitting Hive. That's where I bought the white sock yarn. I just grabbed that while I was there. Very exciting. I bought size 1 metal DPNs because I only have size 1 wooden DPNs, and I don't like using them on my heel flaps because I basically, the way I do my heel flaps is that I stitch however many you need to, like to half the sock, and then I leave the circular needles just on the stitches I'm not using, and then I work the heel flap on the DPNs because I just find that to be a lot more fun and a lot easier than just like tangling yourself dealing with stitches you are and are not using and whatever. So I got size 1 DPNs and because the wooden DPNs I currently have are just too sticky for the heel flap. It's just really annoying, so I got these. And I also got these really cute stitch markers. You can tell I'm in a floral time. So I got these stitch markers, and that's it for what I got today. However, there is one other purchase I made earlier this week. So I got these Patagonia Organic Merino. I got 4 of these white ones. These are, I don't know what colorway these are. This is the colorway Pearl. They're just a very white with like some like, I don't know, like a little bit of like gray intermingled in there. Like obviously not a lot because it is a white yarn, but there's like a There's like, you know, when there's like an individual like hair that's like has like a darker part of it, that's what these are. It's a little bit of a more rusticy wool. And the label says that these are DK. Everywhere else says it's sport, so I don't know quite what to make out of it. But I got these 4 whites, and then I got this green color in the colorway Moss, and I'm planning on using them together to do a color work. It's going to be the Lume Tee by Sari Nordlund. I was thinking about doing the Lume sweater, but then I decided I really liked this yarn, and it would be close enough gauge to the actual t-shirt versus the tank top that I just decided to go with that instead. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I noticed something a bit unfortunate. This is fingering, this is DK. So they were very close to each other, and I now understand why there was 2 separate displays of this. But we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. We'll just hold these 2 together. It should be enough with that. And you know, if the front and back are slightly different gauges, who gives a fuck? But yeah, so that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you see anything that stands out to you, or if you've knit with any of these yarns, please let me know in the comment section down below. I will be back sometime in the future, probably. So yeah, please subscribe if you would like to see me again. All right, that's gonna be it for me. Bye-bye.